Imagine a world where you've been taught your entire life that freedom is a natural right. But what if that was a lie? What if the very systems that shape our societies, governments, economies, even the culture, were designed with one goal in mind: to keep you from being free? You might think of freedom as a birthright, something inherent to being human. But across history, there's a chilling pattern. The more society has progressed, the more cunning the systems of control have become. Whether it's through serfdom, slavery, or even propaganda, the truth is you were never meant to be free. How did it happen? And why is it still happening today? To understand this, we need to take a journey back through time. In medieval Europe, peasants worked the land, but were they really free? Technically, they owned their little plot of land, but they didn't. To say that a peasant was free to do as they pleased would be a joke. Sure, they weren't slaves in the traditional sense, but they were tied to their land in a way that chained them just as tightly. Serfdom wasn't just a simple form of labor. It was a system designed to lock people into perpetual servitude. It's like a gilded cage. Serfs had a roof over their heads and food to eat, but they were forever bound to the land they worked, unable to leave without permission. Their very lives were controlled by the local lord who decided their fate. And this system of control didn't just survive through brute force. It survived because it made people believe that they had a form of freedom. Because after all, what is a slave if they think they're free? This illusion of ownership of land and livelihood was enough to keep the wheels of serfdom turning for centuries. But this would set a dangerous precedent, a lesson about the cost of freedom that would echo through history, leading us straight into the darkest periods of human control. By the time we enter the era of transatlantic slavery, the mechanisms of control have evolved, but the aim is the same. Millions of Africans were torn from their homes and forced into unimaginable conditions, all in the name of profit and power. It was clear slavery was a tool, not just a product of a bad economy, but a purposefully constructed system to maintain control over an entire population. Slaves weren't just forced to work, they were deliberately stripped of every bit of personal identity. Names were erased, families ripped apart, cultures annihilated. This wasn't just economic exploitation, it was a calculated effort to dehumanize and subjugate. And here's the kicker: slavery was sold as a necessity, not just for the economy, but for the good of society. Propaganda spread across the Western world, justifying the system with dehumanizing stereotypes and pseudo-scientific racism. The wealthy elite convinced the public that slavery was just a natural order, something that was supposed to exist for the greater good. But even after the abolition of slavery, the world didn't suddenly become free. The idea of freedom had been poisoned, because true freedom means autonomy. And in the aftermath of slavery, people were still held under the weight of class structures, systemic racism, and economic dependence. What we're seeing here is no accident. Entire systems of control were designed to perpetuate a lack of freedom. But let's move on, because the story doesn't end here. It gets even more insidious. Fast forward to the 20th century. Technology advances, wars reshape nations, but the design of control, it's the same. It's just gotten smarter. During World War I and World War II, propaganda became the ultimate weapon in keeping populations under control. Governments didn't need to send soldiers to your doorstep to force you into compliance. No, now they could control your mind without you even realizing it. Through newspapers, radio broadcasts, and films, entire nations nations were whipped into fervor, made to believe in causes that ultimately served the power structures, not the people. The masses were fed carefully constructed narratives that demonized enemies, glorified leaders, and justified endless wars, all in the name of a nation's freedom. But here's where it gets even more chilling. This idea of controlling people through information didn't stop with wartime. No, it continued into modern politics, media, and even advertising. We are all in some way still living in the age of propaganda. The news you read, the ads you see, even the narratives presented by social media, it's all designed with one goal: to keep you distracted, to keep you passive, to make you believe that freedom is just an illusion. The truly terrifying part is that many of us don't even realize it. We've been taught to think that freedom of thought is something we inherently possess. But how free is our thought when it's shaped by what we consume? And this brings us to perhaps the most sinister aspect of control. If propaganda controls your mind, then economics controls your body. You work to survive. You sell your time for money. But in the grand scheme of things, who actually benefits? Throughout history, economic systems have been used to trap people in cycles of poverty, ensuring that the ruling elite remain in power. Capitalism, socialism, feudalism, each of these systems has had its own way of keeping the masses subjugated. Whether through extreme wealth, inequality, or state-controlled labor, the structure of economic systems has always been designed to ensure that true freedom is out of reach. You might think that the world is changing now, that technology has democratized opportunities for everyone. But does it really? As we move further into the digital age, we see a new kind of control. Surveillance capitalism. Companies now track your every move, your habits, and preferences, leaving you with the illusion of freedom, when in fact you're more controlled than ever. We've seen this happen before, over and over, and we're still seeing it today. It's not a conspiracy, it's just the way systems work. The more you believe you're free, the easier it is for them to control you. Empires, from Rome to Britain to modern-day superpowers, have always been built on the backs of the oppressed. Conquering lands and subjugating people isn't just a pursuit of power, it's a method of control. Take the Roman Empire. At its peak, the empire controlled vast swaths of land, yet it thrived because it allowed a system of controlled freedom. The empire offered some degree of autonomy to its citizens, but only within the boundaries it set. The provinces had rulers, the people had jobs, but all of it served the empire's greater design. Rome gave its subjects the illusion of freedom while ensuring that real power was always concentrated at the top. This was the blueprint for every empire that followed. Britain's colonization of India, Spain's conquest of the Americas, and even today's geopolitical struggles all are just variations of the same theme. The tools may change, but the game remains the same. Keep the people feeling free while maintaining a firm grip on their lives and labor. From serfdom to slavery, from propaganda to economic subjugation, history teaches us a grim lesson. Freedom has always been a carefully managed illusion. Systems of control are as old as civilization itself, and they evolve with each passing century. But here's the question. If we are truly meant to be free, why do we keep finding ourselves under the thumb of power? Maybe the real answer isn't about finding new ways to break free, but understanding the systems that keep us bound in the first place. Only then can we begin to see that freedom in its truest form is a far more complicated concept than we've ever been told. And as you think about that, remember, you were never meant to be free, but you still have a choice.